Hey guys, this is the Prince Mastodon, and I'm doing a live commentary video for Empire Total War multiplayer. This is a USA versus France battle, and this is an early period battle. And this is actually a very old replay, and you can tell because this is early period and I still have long riflemen. I believe with the last patch update, you cannot use long riflemen in the early period anymore, and that was made for balance purposes. Anyways, I'm in command of the USA here, and my opponent is in command of the French, and he is Berlin 86, which was a fine year for Berlin, certainly better than 45. Alright, so look at my opponent's army. He has tons and tons and tons of artillery pieces there, backed up with a minimal force of regular infantry troops. So my strategy is first to proceed forward, and then close the distance, so that's my strategy here. So I guess you can call this the manifest destiny. I want to proceed from this side of the map to the other side of the map. And you can see already my opponent's opening fire with his artillery pieces. And that is going to be what my opponent relies on, and that's his artillery routing some of my troops. Or all of my troops, actually. Alright, I'm holding the spacebar down, and that's how you can see where your troops are going. Okay, so it does look like a science fiction game right now, but those green lines do actually help you see where your guys are going. Okay. Because my opponent has very few infantry troops, I mean he has a good amount, but not compared to me, and that's because my opponent brought so much artillery, but because of that, I'll be able to surround his army easily. And you can tell that he's very immobile right now. He doesn't really want to move his troops, so that's going to play to my advantage. And there's my cavalry in the back. And you can see my army on the unit roster list on the bottom. It's composed of 3 units of cavalry, I believe, 5 units of line infantry, or I'm sorry, 6 units, and then 6 units of Minutemen, and 5 units of the American Long Riflemen. And as I said, these guys, the Long Riflemen, they are not available anymore in the early period, and that was made for balance purposes. That said, I was still a little bit turned off that they didn't have any flat maps yet with the last patch update, but luckily they did nuke the mortars somewhat. Now they cost a lot of money now, so people aren't willing to spam them anymore. However, they still have an outrageous range, which historically speaking, mortars did not outrange cannons. But at least they did nuke their effectiveness by raising their costs. And same thing with guards, which I did advocate, and that was raising their costs, and they did raise the cost of the guards considerably. Alright, and here's my plan here. I'm gonna just surround my opponent, and that's because my opponent's so immobile due to all of his artillery pieces. And see the danger now that my opponent's in? He is going to start changing his plans a little bit. See his troops on the far left here, which is my far right. He's just going to come forward here. And you can see they didn't stop to fire my troops, so he's going to do a banzai charge there. And I smelled that out when I played this game. So I brought in some cavalry, and I'm going to do some old school hammer and anvil strikes on those 2 French units. And he's actually going to anvil himself there, and I'm going to hammer him for him. So they are not going to last very long. You can see their flags blinking now. That means they're about to bite it. Alright, I can proceed forward here with my encirclement. And there's this guy starting to evaporate. But while I'm doing this, I'm getting shot by his artillery. And there's not much I can do about that. It's just, I just gotta ignore it and just keep coming forward. That's the general idea. Alright, so I'm gonna do that on both flanks here. And once again, this is easier to do now just because my opponent has no, well, he doesn't have very many regular troops, aside from his artillery pieces, which are very, I mean, they can be flexible and mobile, but they're not being used in that capacity. Alright, so here's my Minutemen on my right flank, and my opponent's going to come forward with his cavalry, and unfortunately for my guys, they don't have the square option. So hopefully my Minutemen can hold out, and I'm going to bring up my cavalry to countercharge. I think realistically speaking, I think my my Minutemen can hold up by themselves, but it's better to be safe than sorry, so that's why I use my cavalry there. And I'm going to continue pushing forward here, and the more I come forward, the more my opponent becomes even more fragile. But unlike Rome Total War, coming forward doesn't exactly neutralize artillery, because in Empire Total War, artillery becomes actually more effective when you get closer to them, because at close range they can use their grape shots, or whatever kind of spread effects they have. So that's one big difference between Rome Total War and Empire Total War. All right, you can see one of my guys routing there, but I was able to route his horses too. So if you trade units with me, I'm gonna win that. I'm gonna win that kind of strategy just because I have more. All right, on my right flank here. I'm sorry, my left flank. He's charging some of my my units there, and I'm gonna countercharge with my cavalry, which was operating in the back of my opponent's army there. Alright. So yeah, luckily I saved this, I kept this replay on my computer. Because if I didn't, I don't think I could show my other replays. Just because with the new patch, like, I haven't tried it out yet, but I think with the new patch, I probably won't be able to replay my old replays. But I haven't tried yet. So, anyways, I haven't played this in like 3 weeks, I think. I've been playing, well, I haven't really been playing anything, to be honest. I did play 2 battles of Rome Total War yesterday, and I showed the replay from the second battle, which was a Greek city-state versus Seleucid battle. So, that should hopefully kill some of that dead space between videos. Okay, here's the action on my right flank here. He's got more units coming at it with my units, trying to outflank him there. And now my opponent's in serious danger here because my guys are within like spear range of my opponent now. Too bad I didn't bring any spears though. All right, so this battle's pretty much over at this point. But you can see my opponent's weakness was, and that was his reliance on too much artillery. I mean, it could have won, but seriously, if he would have won with that kind of strategy, then that would have been more of a triumph for his units doing all the work, and him just sitting still. My opponent was, I believe he was pretty nice. Well, actually, I don't think he was anything. He wasn't mean, he wasn't nice, I guess he was neutral, I suppose. Anyways, so no hard feelings here. But my opponent's trying to shuffle some of his troops backwards. A lot of them were actually trading, but some of them were running backwards there. But yeah, I've closed the distance already, so this battle's pretty much over. Yeah, my opponent really needed to maximize the effectiveness of his artillery by changing his artillery weapon type. But I'm not complaining though. So one by one his guys are routing, and I'm just going to finish off his guys, and hopefully they don't come back from routing. But I do have troops chasing each of his units. See, I have my general unit back there. He's operating in the back, looking for stragglers. Alright, that was a close victory for me. I killed 1,467 of his troops, and I lost 943 of my own. Berlin 86 killed 844 of my troops, and he lost 1,605 troops. Good game to Berlin 86.